Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Cropper here. The Viviseckshunist has challenged me to a debate on the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. I have 7 minutes, as I understand it, to do my affirmative speech. And here we go. He says in his this video that about 10 seconds in, 2 states claim sovereignty over a given territory. Then he says there has to be some solution which recognizes the right of self-determination of both the Israelis and the Palestinians. True, 2 states claim sovereignty over Scrappy Patch Desert. Same thing happened in southwestern United States. We took it from Mexico. The same thing has happened in Texas. Same things happened many times. And I'm always on favor of the side of civilization. So he says that both the Israelis and the Palestinians need to have the right of self-determination. Going back to Woodrow Wilson's lame speech, the 14-point speech in 1917, I believe. Now, I object to self-determination of peoples, but I am in favor of the self-determination of an individual person. So, I believe that Israel should expand, take over the Palestinian territory, and just put forward its laws of individualism and self-determination of individuals. Now he says at 1 minute and 10 seconds it is inadmissible to acquire territory by force. Acquisition of territory by force is not the question. It's who is taking the territory from whom. Is it taken like Louisiana Purchase in a purchase, or like Alaska when we bought it? That's fine, but sometimes it's taken by force. But the question is from who and why. Now, he keeps bringing up the 1967 war. You have 40 million people massing on the borders of a state with 2 million people in it. And the 2 million people do a defensive, preemptive strike and took territory. You can only applaud that sort of thing. That's what the 1967 war was. They should have taken more territory. They should have held it more aggressively under their control and not allowed any fudging of their control whatsoever under any sort of 2-state agreements or any shit like that. Okay, at 2 minutes and 10 seconds he says, Israel and the United States stand in the way of a peace settlement by opposing the UN resolution for a 2-state solution. I can only imagine what the UN would put in there. Yeah, I'm against a 2-state solution. I'm in favor of Israeli expansion and Israeli secularization of their state. Their state's too heavily influenced by religion. At 3 minutes and 5 seconds he says, Israel won't even recognize the Palestinian state. Why should they? They should destroy it. At 3 minutes and 40 seconds he says, the World Court is the highest judicial authority in the world. I'm sure you'll appreciate that, Mr. Cropper. He's joking. I wouldn't recognize any court above the United States Supreme Court. Now, at 4 minutes and 16 seconds, the only serious framework we can turn to when we're discussing practical solutions to the conflict is the 2-state solution. Wrong. Why does he say practical? Because what? Expansion of Israel is not practical? I think Israel should expand. They should expand. I think they should take Egypt, Saudi Arabia, any damn place they want. Just like America. You want it? Take it. It's yours. Nobody else doing anything with it. Just, a bunch of religious slaves. 4 minutes and 22 seconds, he says, in the background of all this is Israel's human rights record. Let's just look at that for a second. I mean, I assume he means how the Israelis grant full political and religious freedoms to all humans, regardless of their race, religion, sex, color, creed, etc., nationality, la la la. A human being in Israel is a human being in Israel, like America. They're like America. They are like America in that sense. So, I guess that's what he's talking about. If so, yeah, that's in the background of this, isn't it? 4 minutes and 40 seconds. Israel is overwhelmingly the aggressor. He's obviously a brainwashed zombie. Israel always responds disproportionately. I think under-disproportionately. They should over-disproportionately respond. They respond by killing 100 times as many people. They should actually, I think, respond by killing more like 50,000 times as many people. That would put an end to it really goddamn fast. Okay, he names legitimate tools of war. He says here are some things Israel uses, and these are apparently bad. It shouldn't use these. Home demolitions, okay? What was Dresden bombing? What was Hiroshima? What was Nagasaki, Home demolition, collective punishment, mass killing. What was Nagasaki? What was Hiroshima? Phosphorus, fine. Napalm, horrific, you know. Don't attack our country or you're going to have goddamn napalm on your villages. Do not attack our country or napalm will fall from the skies. Resource deprivation, I don't know what it means, but it sounds like a good way to kill people off. Demolition, what else do we have? Partition walls, sound good. Economic blockades, good stuff. Border controls, good stuff. Anything they can do to strangulate Palestine. I don't know why they don't invade and take the territory. Okay, 5 minutes and 7 seconds. For example, more Palestinians were killed in one day of the recent Israeli invasion than Israelis were killed in the most recent 10 years of Palestinian attacks. That's pretty revealing. 1 day of deaths in Palestine from Israeli bombing equals 10 years of Israeli deaths from these rocket attacks and such. I mean, what about the suicide bombings? Add those in. I don't know if it's going to be so offset, but let's say it is that offset. I'll give it to you. Why don't the Palestinians give up? What the hell's wrong with these people? You know, it is revealing. It's revealing of how savage the Palestinians are and how sophisticated and technologically driven Israel is. You know, compare China. They have an earthquake in China or in Iran. 40,000, 30,000 were killed in Bam in northern Iran. And what do we have? 3 killed in the whatever big earthquake in '89, Prioma-Letta earthquake or whatever it was. So we should encourage Israel. What we should do is allow them all of our political support and Americans to ship all their donations they care to Israel to help them gain as much territory as they can.